Hello, hello, hello. Come on in. Come on in, come on in. Let me know if you can hear me, okay? Hey, Mama D. How are you? Can you hear me? Hey, Adrian. Can you hear me okay? Just want to make sure my volume is good, not talking too loud. Awesome. Thank you, Mama D. Yes, Heaven's Open. I love this song. I'm trying to stop messing with my hair. I'm not used to it moving. You know, I'm used to it staying in one place when it's curly until I move it. How was your day? Mama D, Adrian, how's your day been? Thank you, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. I almost said good morning. I have a habit of saying good morning all day long. Oh, how's your mom? I hope she was good, Mama D. Huh? What happened, Adrian? Oh, I forgot you went. Did you go down to hang out with Victoria? Let's see. So it looks like, hey Karen, how are you? I hope you've had a great day. Oh, okay, on the phone. Whew, if you just on the phone. Hey Viva. Hey Latasha. Hey Sam. Got one more minute and then I'm going to get started. I want to be on time. Hey Wanda. Hope everyone is having a great day. Alright, it is 8 o'clock according to all of my clocks. Hey Miss Crystal. It was so good seeing you this weekend. It's me, Latasha. What you talking about? Anyway. Good evening. Let me say the right time of day. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on this evening. I'll try to say evening. I have a bad habit of saying morning, good morning, all day long. But thanks for joining me. Just want to introduce myself to you all real quick. My name is Jasmine Hardy, and I'm from Charlotte, born and raised. Lived in North Carolina all of my life. And I, let's see, love to cook, love to bake. I'm in the health and wellness fitness field, so that is where my passion lies. Health and wellness, fitness, and food. Hey Renee, I miss you. It was so good to see you this weekend. So that is a little bit about me, and I'm just glad and excited to be bringing the reflection to you all on this evening. And and to get us started, I did want to pray before I go into my reflection. Dear God, I thank you for allowing us to come through this day safely and soundly, and having made it through work and everything else that we may have had to deal with. God, I pray that you decrease me and that you fill me, and that every word that I say be from you, that I hear you clearly in what I am bringing forth to your women who war, in terms of my reflection that I got from the Bible study on last Thursday with Adrian. God, I thank you, I praise you, I give you glory, honor, and praise. Amen. So, last Thursday, Adrian talked about the power of travailing. And I'm going to move these comments so that I don't get distracted. The power of travailing. And the thing that stuck out to me the most was when she made the statement right at the beginning that prayer has become like a spare tire. We pull it out when we need it. And that kind of hit me because I don't have a spare tire in my car. My car has no spare tire. I have a 2013 Hyundai Elantra, and it did not come with a spare tire. I knew that. The salesperson told me that when I got the car. I told my dad. My dad was with me. So we knew there was going to be no spare tire in the car. So that was never, that wasn't anything that I thought would be a big deal. Okay, yeah, no big deal. Don't have a spare tire. So got my car in 2013 because I totaled the previous car that I had. And when I ended up needing it, maybe about, it's 2017, so 2 years later, I ended up needing a spare tire 3 times within about a 8-month time frame. So the first time I needed a spare tire was on New Year's Day, 2015. I was riding down the road trying to head to my mom's to get some food and got a flat. I had a nail in my tire. So I'm like, okay, I don't have a spare. I don't know how to use the little fix-a-flat kit that's in the trunk. That's what it came with. It came with the fix-a-flat kit. Have no clue how to use it. And it has the instructions, but I was like, I've got vehicle assistance. I've got vehicle assistance with my insurance. I've got vehicle assistance with Hyundai. I'm going to call them. Get them out there. Call them. They said it would be about an hour, hour and a half before anyone would come. And of course, I'm sitting, waiting on the side of the road for them to get there. Side of 485. I had barely made it down 485 here in Charlotte. So luckily I got pulled off enough to be able to be in a safe place. Called people. Nobody answered the phone. Just to let them know what was going on. My dad didn't answer the phone. My dad almost always answers my phone calls. He didn't answer. Nobody answered the phone. So I was at the mercy of waiting for vehicle assistance. Got everything fixed. Was good to go. Got my new tire. A month later, 1 month later, I got a nail in the same tire. The brand new tire. Almost in the exact same place. Almost in the exact same place on the highway. Got another nail in the same tire. So I had to go through the whole thing all over again. Waiting for vehicle assistance. Can't go anywhere. Got the new tire. The third time I had a flat was about 6 months later in the summer, driving from Rock Hill up to Charlotte. And it didn't just go flat. It split completely. In the middle of the highway, driving down 77. I'm driving with the person the guy I was dating at the time, and I went from the lane closest to the barrier, like all the way over, because my tire just completely split. I wasn't the only one. There were like 4 other cars within a 1 mile span whose tire just completely split. Again, I have no spare. So I have to sit and wait for vehicle assistance. I have to wait because I have no spare tire. I have nothing to rely on. And when I heard Adrian say, prayer has become like a spare tire, we pull it out when we need it, I said, well, I've never had that opportunity to only pull it out when I need it. I've had to make sure my tires were in good condition. Am I that great at it? No. I don't think about the maintenance on my vehicle, but I should. Because the tires are one of the parts of your car that's very important. And when your tires aren't running in optimal condition, it puts unnecessary stress on the rest of the car. Your fuel efficiency decreases, so you get fewer miles per gallon. The shocks and struts on your car have to deal with more impact because there's more jolting. It takes longer to brake. It takes longer to slow down. You've got less traction, so you might be more likely to skid. You can't change directions as quickly when you've got a flat tire. So you've got to make sure you're keeping a check of your tires. Things pop up. Like, all of the reasons why my tires went flat were beyond my control. Construction in the area, so I got nails in the tire. Who knows what in the middle of the highway on 77 North, but something was there. It was beyond my control. So maintaining your tires is important, even in those situations, because maybe if I had kept better care of my tires, the damage to them wouldn't have been so severe. So there's routine maintenance, regular checkups, getting your tires balanced and rotated on a regular basis. All of that's necessary. And then when you do get new tires, changing them all out at the same time so that you're not sitting there with 3 new tires and then that one bad tire that's still going to keep you from being able to move like you want to, like you need to. So one of the things that the Honda dealership told us when we got my new tires was that my trunk can be converted. It can be upgraded. So they can change the space where it's just a small little space for the fix-a-flat. And they can upgrade it. They can convert it so that a spare tire can fit. But it's at a cost. And they told me the cost, and it wasn't that much. I just didn't want to pay for it. My dad said he would pay for it, which was great. Thanks, Dad. He told me whenever I wanted to do it, I can do it. Still haven't done it. Had the same car for 4 years. Still haven't converted that space. And that's just me out of my own stubbornness. But have not converted the space. But even if I have a spare tire, I convert it. I convert my trunk, upgrade my trunk. We've got to remember that a spare tire is a temporary fix. It's not a permanent solution. It can't be ridden on for very long. And when you ride on it for very long, you can sometimes do more damage because it's not the same size or quality of the other tires that are moving you along. It'll only take you so far. So when I was thinking about how I had no spare tire, how I'm just sitting there waiting for vehicle assistance to come, I started thinking about, and in my mind it makes sense, Newton's 3 laws of motion. So a little background. I was a chemistry major in undergrad. I have a master's in exercise science. So I'm a little bit of a sciencey kind of nerd. So chemistry, biology, physics wasn't my strong suit in college. It makes so much more sense to me now. I'm a practical kind of person. So for whatever reason, Newton's laws of motion popped in my head. And I'm like, God, I barely passed physics in undergrad. Why you got this in my head? Why? So I looked them up to remember what they were. So the first law of motion is an object at rest remains at rest unless a force is applied to it, or an object in motion remains in motion at a constant speed and direction or velocity until a force is applied to it. So basically, when something's moving or not moving, nothing's going to change what it's doing until force is applied to it. When 7 years ago, almost 7 years ago, I was 25, a week after my 25th birthday. I'm living life like normal. I'm moving from one apartment to another. Adrian, you don't need cliff notes. I'm moving from one apartment to another. I'm just moving like normal. And then I get the phone call that my little brother, he wasn't little, he was huge, but my younger brother passed away. So I go from moving like normal to all of a sudden stopping. And I stopped. That was the force. I was an object in motion. And then this force of my brother dying stopped me. I couldn't move. I couldn't go anywhere. I just was set in one place. I was depressed. I was just trying to get by in life. I was in grad school, barely making it. My professors were talking about me trying to figure out how I went from this student who was doing research and presenting posters and writing papers to someone who was in class but wasn't in class, who was barely doing anything. That force of losing my brother kept me from being able to move. And it kept me from being able to really move for almost 5 or 6 years. I kind of did a little bit of something here and there, but I didn't move very far from the place that I was when he died. And it made me think about how sometimes when we're standing still and we're dealing with all of this stuff that's coming against us and we're in this battle, it kind of took me back to when we were talking about the armor. That we don't always have to be moving. We don't always have to move. I needed to stand still and sit still in those moments because I'm the type of person where I'm always on the go. And I only get sat down when I'm sick and my body makes me sick. So losing my brother was a thing that kind of set me still, and I had to learn how to fight again. I had to learn how to stand. Yes, stand firm, Adrian. I had to learn how to stand. And if you look at Ephesians 6:13 through 18, which is the armor of God, which I know everyone is familiar with, seeing how many times it says stand. Yes, we've got this armor that we can use to protect ourselves, that we can use to defend ourselves. But sometimes we don't have to do anything. Sometimes we just have to stand there and trust in the fact that we know the battle is already won and that we're already victorious. So the most movement that's going to occur is us blinking our eyes and the rise and fall of our chest when we're breathing, waiting for the battle to be over, for the angels that have been dispatched around us to finish the fight. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to Shakima's reflection that she did a couple of weeks, not a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week. So just standing still. That was what I thought about with first law of motion. I was like, okay, God, you had me standing still in that situation so that I could wait for the battle to be over, because my angels were fighting for me. My angels were fighting the battle that was in my mind. My angels were fighting the battle with my professors talking about me and wondering what was going on. I graduated a year late. So what? I graduated. And I was the only one who presented any papers or presentations or posters at any of the conferences. So I was okay in spite of them talking about me. I still got done what I needed to do. It just took me a little bit longer. It wasn't in my time frame. So second law of motion is force equals mass times acceleration. So me, say my force, how much force I produce is dependent on how fast I'm going. How much force I produce is dependent on how fast I am going. So if I'm just kind of going at a snail's pace and I'm trying to push up against something, it's not going to move out my way because I'm not putting enough energy into it. I'm not accelerating enough. But if I am going with everything that I have into this thing, with all that I have, then the force that I produce is going to be greater. Sometimes our prayers may not seem to have as much force, as much power, because we're like, okay, God, well, I really need to pass this test, and if it's okay, if you want me to, then yeah, that's cool. Where's the like, that's not going to produce any force. That's not producing any force. But when I'm like, okay, God, you told me that I am going to be successful, that in you I have all things. So this is what I need done. This is what I'm going to do. And I'm trusting in you to help me do it. So here we go. Yeah, no pity pat prayers. We're going in. So, okay, here we go. This is what's going to happen. This is what I'm going to do, because I'm going to use everything that I have so that I can get what you have for me. So that I can push past this thing, because right now I need to move. I'm not standing still at this moment. I need to move. And I need to push past this thing. So you've got to have greater force in your prayer. And to have greater force in your prayer, you've got to take what you have and move it as fast as you can. We can all produce the same amount of force with different masses if we put the right amount of acceleration into it. If we put the right speed into what we're doing. The third law of motion is for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So just like Pastor Mo was saying in her reflections yesterday, when the enemy comes at her with saying, oh, well, you're not going to be anything, she has to retort back like, you know what? God said that in him I am everything, that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So hold up, you're wrong. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And sometimes in our prayers, it seems as if we're pushing and pushing and pushing and not going anywhere. When in reality, just because you're not moving anywhere doesn't mean you're not getting stronger. Just because you're not moving anywhere, and just because it seems like every time you try to move in one direction, it seems as if something is combating you, something is pushing against you in the opposite direction, it makes you think, I'm weak. I'm weak. Why can't I move this? Why can't I move? You're not weak. There's 3 different kinds of muscular contractions. So I'm going fitness real quick. There's 3 different types of muscular contractions. Eccentric, concentric, and isometric. Eccentric and concentric are, in and out, your normal kind of contractions that you think about. But isometric contractions with the muscles, you're not moving. So the length of your muscle doesn't change. The angle of your muscle doesn't change. But you still become stronger. So think about a plank. No one loves planks. I like them. I like planks because they strengthen my core. They strengthen those muscles that are around your spine, around your hips, because your core is from your waist to your knees. Core isn't just your abs. Your core is from your waist to your knees. So planks strengthen your core. So all of those times and you're just sitting there doing a plank, you're not moving, your body's not moving. You might shake a little bit. You might get unsteady, but when you reset your position, maybe move your feet apart a little bit more so you've got a better base of support so that you can hold your plank, you can hold it for longer, and you get stronger. So that when you do have to move, so that when you are in situations where something might be trying to bend you back and you have to duck and go from side to side, you can be stable because you've got that core strength to keep you from going off balance too much. That's what it's like sometimes in our prayers, where we think we're not going anywhere. We think we're not being effective because it seems as if we're not pushing. We're not pushing forward. But in actuality, you're becoming stronger and stronger because eventually that thing is going to break. Eventually you will push past it. Eventually you'll get through it. And with that, it made me think about James. It took me to James 1:5-8, the Message version. If you don't know what you're doing, pray to the Father. He loves to help. You'll get his help and won't be condescended to when you ask for it. Ask boldly, believingly, without a second thought. People who worry their prayers are like wind-whipped waves. Don't think you're going to get anything from the Master that way, adrift at sea, keeping all of your options open. I know you're probably wondering, well, why that scripture? Because you got to be anchored. If you're on the sea in a ship, you have to be anchored. You've got to be still. You've got to be stable. You can't be worried about what's going on around you. You've got to be anchored. So thinking back to all those times when I had a flat tire, it didn't matter that my tire was flat. It didn't matter that I didn't have a spare. It didn't matter that there was no way I was going to get anywhere until something came to pull me out, until vehicle assistance came to pull me. It doesn't matter that it seems like I'm only going this one direction and I'm speeding along and nothing's going to help me stop. Nothing can stop me. Doesn't matter how big the problem. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. I'm anchored in God. I'm anchored in His Word. I'm anchored in Him. So even if I have the spare tire, even if I've got vehicle assistance, it's okay. Because my anchor was there with me the entire time. I just needed a little push maybe to get through. But you got to remember, when a ship is traveling, the anchor doesn't just stay at shore. The anchor is on the ship the entire time, and it's dropped when it's needed. The anchor is dropped when it's needed to keep it stable, whether it's at port, whether it's having to stop in the middle of the sea because it's so turbulent and it can't go any further, so it's got to stop until things calm down. Sometimes you just have to be anchored. And that took me to Hebrews 6:16 through 19. And the last part of it says, "This hope is a strong and trustworthy anchor for our souls. It leads us through the curtain into God's inner sanctuary." When we're anchored in God, we're within His inner sanctuary. We're exactly where we need to be. We're exactly where we need to be. So I know my time is almost done, but I was reading all of this and going through all of this yesterday, trying to figure out how this all worked together. I went from flat tires to Newton's laws of motion to an anchor. And the song that I thought of was "My Soul is Anchored in the Lord." The first time I heard that song, I was at a church in Durham, Orange Grove Missionary Baptist Church, and I was just like, wow. Wow. My soul is anchored in the Lord. I love that song. Love, love, love that song. And it just made me think about everything that I've gone through, that no matter what, I'm anchored. And if you don't know the song, I'm going to sing a little bit of it really quick, and then I'm going to get off. Though the storms keep on raging in my life, and sometimes it's hard to tell the night from day, still that hope that lies within is reassured as I keep my eyes upon the distant shore. I know He'll lead me safely to that blessed place He has prepared. But if the storms don't cease, and if the winds keep on blowing in my life, my soul has been anchored in the Lord. So, anchor your soul in the Lord. Remember that prayer is your anchor. God is your anchor. He will always be there no matter what the situation, no matter if you've got a flat tire. Just go ahead and let your anchor down and just rest and wait until help comes. Whether that's the form of your prayers being answered by vehicle assistance, by your friends, your family, whatever that situation is, God is going to bring you through. God is going to carry you through. So, yeah, my soul is anchored. No matter what the motions may be, no matter if I'm sitting, if I'm an object at rest that's staying at rest, if I'm an object in motion that's staying in motion until another force is applied to it, if my force doesn't seem to be strong enough because I'm not putting enough speed behind what I'm doing, or if it seems like everything around me is trying to push me in the opposite direction of where I'm trying to go, that's okay, because I'm getting stronger in not moving. I'm getting stronger because my core is strengthening, so that when I face opposition that tries to have me moving each and every different direction, I'm okay. I can stay stable in God. So that's all I have. That is all I have for you today. I hope and pray that you got something out of it. My physics lesson, my car maintenance lesson, or your exercise lesson about the importance of planks and core. I pray you got something out of it. Announcements really quickly, and then I'll be gone. Don't forget about the Charleston prayer gathering that we are going to have on Friday, July 21st. The location is to be determined. As soon as we have that information, we will post a message in the Women Who War group, and we will update the information on the Eventbrite website. So please invite ladies that you know are going to be in the area, or anybody from Charlotte that may want to roll with you. Tell them to come. It's definitely going to be a great move of God. Don't forget to get your t-shirts, the Women Who War shirts, the Wake, Pray, Slay Giants All Day shirt. Should be available hopefully soon. Don't forget to get your t-shirts. Someone will post the link. Sorry, my eye's itching. Someone will post the link for the t-shirts in the comments. And it's also on the page, and I'll make sure to post that link fresh so that it's at the top. And last but not least, do not forget about Bible study on tomorrow at 8 p.m. with our very own Minister Mona Cunningham. It is going to be great. I'm very excited about the word that she has to bring. Yay! I'm so glad your shirt came yesterday, Renee. I'm very glad about the word and excited about the word that Mona has to bring tomorrow. I know it's going to be fire. So very, very excited about that. I think that's everything. I think that's all of the announcements that I have. Yes, Viva, go do some planks. I haven't been working out because my hair is straight. Normally my hair is curly, and when it's straight, I don't work out because I can't mess up my press. So, thank you all for joining me on this evening. I hope you have a wonderful night, and look forward to seeing you on the next time I'm on. Bye.